too. So we are here on Temescal Canyon and PCH Highway. We have a victim who unfortunately was in the worst Palisades fire here in the heart of it. Can you explain the evacuation process, first, second day, whatever day you evacuated? How was that?
We evacuated on the 7th. We could see the fire like as soon as it started. So we hacked up and then just waited to listen to hear if we were going to have a mandatory or just a warning. And when we got the mandatory, we just left immediately. And thankfully, we didn't get stuck in too much of the traffic because we left early enough. But I know that a lot of people had to abandon a lot more than we did. So we're among the more fortunate in that case. But now it's hard because a lot of our neighbors don't know anything about the status of their exact house since we're not being allowed in, and media hasn't really been showing the streets, so it's all been word of mouth and by residents.
So no information from law enforcement. Your best bet is maybe like Facebook chats or anything. What has been your main source to get information?
Yeah, talking to, calling and texting neighbors, and neighbors have, the ones who have been able to make it up, have shared pictures of their streets, and so it's just kind of a bit of a luck of the draw if they happen to be a neighbor that's close enough to your house to see. But it's been all neighbors and word of mouth. The news has shown some aerials, but nothing really residential.
For many people, this would be their downfall to the biggest Great Depression of their life. People lost homes. That's one of the people's biggest investments in life. How has this impacted you? How are you feeling? To think this would happen to anyone is literally, no one would think that because this is literally the worst. How are you feeling this moment right now?
I think the loss of the community is hitting a lot of us the hardest because it's not just our house, but it's our neighbors and the community that we have together that we've lost. And unfortunately, some people were able to get their pets, and that's been really hard to hear. One of our friends couldn't get her cat, and it's hard to
cope with, really just
there's
no
words. No words. I'm just so thankful that me and my family made it out, and just coping with everybody as best we can in these days, but it's day by day.
I do have these next questions that are up to your discretion, but it's questions that have been in mainstream media in a sense of the mayor not defunding and also Gavin Newsom not providing a water. Is there talks? Do you feel like they're responsible for what had taken place? Again, up to your discretion to answer these questions. You don't have to. These are just questions that I'm just asking.
I think it's not actually reasonable to point out one individual and say it's this person's fault, it's Gavin Newsom's fault for not approving this, or it's the mayor's fault for not doing this, because there's a lot of things that could have been done better, and there's a lot of people involved with the preparedness strategy that could have been better. And so as much as I know people want to
point
have
fingers,
somebody to cast their rage on, it's so much more complex than that. And if we actually want to think strategically of how did this happen and how can we prevent such a thing, it is much smarter to think of all of the people that are involved in all of these governmental and strategy decisions. So it's more complex than just one or two people.
Okay. Well, to conduct the interview, is there anything you want to say maybe to those friends that have lost their homes, or anyone that lives outside of California, to really embrace the impact that took place? Is there anything at your heart that wants to be said, or a spotlight, or donate to this program, or I don't know, what is something that you would have to say?
I would say, just for anyone who has loved ones who were here, to check in on them and see if they need anything, because a lot of people lost everything. So gathering just the basic necessities to live is on everyone's minds right now. And so just checking in on your loved ones, if you weren't here, and if you were, just taking it day by day.
I actually have this last question, because this is a vital question, and I appreciate your time so far. You're not obligated to be here, so I appreciate you. Regarding insurance, this has been the most requested question I asked to people. Fire insurance. Were a lot of people prepared for this? I was told by some residents that it was actually canceled. They couldn't get insurance.
It's case by case. Everybody has different insurance policies and different insurance experiences. So I know my one friend's policy will cover fire, but only in this situation, and another person has a different policy. So it's case by case.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your time. My heart goes out to you, and really the community. Like you're saying, I flew my drone, and it was absolutely devastating to see the mount. I can't imagine how you feel. I just want to say, as a Christian, I appreciate you even doing this in the hardest time of your life, because this would be the same for me. It'd be a hard situation. So I just want to say thank you.
Of course.
My name was Tony, and I hope and pray that a lot of your belongings got safe. If not, just know prayers from a lot of fellow Christians are being sent over. So
Of course.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate you.